Every family has a beginning, a place where roots first touched the soil, where stories took shape, and where lives were built. For us, it was here, on the Canadian prairie on a piece of land just 10 kilometers north of Hafford, Saskatchewan. My father captured those early years on film. Weddings, laughter, moments that seemed ordinary back then, but now hold the weight of memory. Today, I return with my wife and one of my two sons, who alongside siblings, cousins, and relatives, walk once more where it all began, gathered for the 2025 Kyliuk Family Reunion. After a 9-hour drive from Winnipeg, we arrived at our motel in Radisson, Saskatchewan, only to find it was more than just a place to rest. 50 years earlier, a motel much like this had been the backdrop during a cousin's wedding in Kamsack, Saskatchewan, capturing a photograph that still holds deep meaning today. It was one of the last taken with my Baba, my dad's mom, and all of her children together. Now only Peter remains, yet in this place, their presence seemed to return, surrounding us once more. My cousins, once the young faces in this old 8mm film, were now parents, grandparents, and even great-grandparents. Time has moved on, but the spirit of the family has not. As my wife stepped out the front door of the motel, it reminded me of when my mom, youngest sister Judy, and cousins Linda and Carol were here way back when. It felt as if the echoes of that gathering reached across the decades, binding the past and present into one moment.
We're here in Saskatchewan. This is it. This is a weekend-long celebration of events that's taken place, all involving the Kyliuk clan. The first one is right here with Walter and Violet, who are celebrating their 60th wedding anniversary. And then we're going to head over to 6 miles north of Hafford, Saskatchewan, on the old family farm, where we're going to have the Kyliuk reunion. Lots of stuff happening, and I know everyone's looking forward to it, aren't you?
Stay tuned.
Been married for 60 years, and it's a significant milestone. We invited a few friends down, and we were blessed with friends not only locally, but we've got cousins that came from 3 different provinces.
It's great to see family and friends come together, and I think this is wonderful.
Just as my father did all those years ago, I've brought my own family back to witness what reunion truly means. Only one of my sons was able to be here, the youngest held back by a work commitment. But the meaning of this place reaches them both. My sisters from Winnipeg and their partners, and my sister from Calgary with her son, stood with us along with cousins and relatives we hadn't seen in a long time. Together, we stepped into the same current of history that has carried our family for generations. In their presence, and even in some of our family's absence, the thread between past and present remained unbroken. The next day carried us back to the farm, the heart of the reunion, and the ground where it all began. Decades ago, my father filmed and photographed this land in its youth. Now I stood upon the same soil, filming it with my own family there. We met Peter, my dad's youngest brother, along with his wife Agnes. For my son Colby, it was something more, the chance to meet relatives he had never known. New voices, new faces, yet all tied to the same roots. In that moment, history was no longer just remembered. It was alive, living and breathing all around us.
Okay, we ready?
My cousin Danny was the driving force behind the reunion, organizing everything from finding elk sausage, beef, and bison to planning activities that brought us all together. He lives in the current house on the family farm, where a peek inside reveals his favorite pastime. His siblings and their families were just as essential, pitching in and serving throughout the event to make sure everything ran smoothly. As many of us from Winnipeg noticed on the tractor sign and the invitation, the family name was spelled differently here. The I and the U had switched places. I learned there's a family rule of thumb to this. Anyone north of Saskatchewan Highway 40 used the UIK spelling along with the more Ukrainian pronunciation of Kyliuk, while anyone south of Highway 40, including us in Winnipeg, used the IUK version and the anglicized pronunciation of Kyliuk. My dad's younger brother in Winnipeg, Mike, took his own approach, dropping the I entirely to free the name from years of mispronunciation. So whether you were IUK or UIK, or just connected to one of them, we all rode together on a hay wagon back to the original homestead. Across the fields, cousins who hadn't seen each other in decades reconnected. Conversations picked up. Stories were shared, and the distance of the years quickly faded. So this is where it all began. Back in 1927, the first original homestead was built of clay, logs, horse manure, and straw, and was just a couple meters to my right. But behind me is the first house that was built here in 1953. The original foundation is here and still in place. From above, you can see where the original homestead sits in relation to the reunion site. My father's family spent their first Canadian years on this land.
They lived in it for a number of years.
The stones may have crumbled, but the memory remains. When we arrived, we came upon the resting places of Danny's wife and my uncle Alec, my dad's brother. A quiet reminder of those who came before us. The fence surrounding these graves marks the very spot where the original log house once stood, and it's here that we return to remember, to celebrate, and to honor what they built. Next on the agenda, outdoor games, including one that I was personally looking forward to. Danny, who's an expert marksman, showed us how skeet shooting is done. He's so good, even with one hand making it look easy. It gave us all a sense of confidence to try. But for others, it unleashed some different feelings about the sport.
Oh, shit!
Happy to say, after my wife and sister hit their targets, I finally got one after a couple of tries. Talk about pressure. And I'll never forget my cousin Walter, not just performing at his own anniversary, but keeping the music alive alongside cousin Zoni at the farm, who also pulled double duty at both events. Then the centerpiece of the day, the roasting of the 150-pound pig. The air was rich with the scent of old-style cooking, and our plates with wild meats that carried the taste of tradition. Through it all, I carried with me the images my father left behind. His films of weddings, of cousins playing, of trips to Saskatchewan, gave this reunion its deeper meaning. My father couldn't be here, but through his lens, he still was. He gave us more than just pictures. He gave us a way to keep our past alive. And so it ended as it should, with everyone together. From the ground, we saw family. From above, we saw legacy. Generations bound by one story still unfolding. This was not just a reunion. It was a return to where it all began.